Greetings. All right. Can you tell I got a haircut? Yeah, me neither. All right. So this is a quick walkthrough of the PDF, which is really a PowerPoint, but I give it to you in PDF format of the pre-flight checklist for SA2. Uh, this is again that thing where it's like, okay, if you don't get these things right, your essay is going to take some hard hits in terms of points or grade valuation. Not the minor league stuff is mentioned in here, though that stuff does matter. This is the big ticket thing where if you don't get this done, you got some problems. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through it. I'll add a little bit more than obviously the text on the page. This isn't story time where I just read a PDF to you, and I'm not going to read every word. But I'm going to sort of explain them a little bit more for those of you that need additional sort of walkthrough. Okay. All right. So I'm going to share screen and I'm hoping this takes, 5, maybe 10 minutes. Okay. So what we're looking for here, yeah, let's land the plane. Let's not crash the plane. Let's land the plane. It doesn't have to be a pretty landing, but we want wheels on the ground. All good. Okay. So first off, by the numbers. And the numbers matter, as I've mentioned in a couple other posts, a couple other videos. So do you have an introduction that makes it clear you are evaluating Vonnegut, not just his short stories? So what that means also is, remember, at the end of the introduction, you should have your lead-off statement or question, not your judgment thesis. That is going to be in the conclusion. You will need that, but not again until the conclusion. So what we want at the end of that intro is that brief sentence that says Vonnegut is arguing this, but is he convincing? Or Vonnegut is trying to make this argument in the story, but readers must determine if his argument is persuasive. Something along those lines. Okay. In every body paragraph, are you directly judging and analyzing Vonnegut himself, his argument, him as an author of a text trying to push particular points? That's crucial for this assignment. If Vonnegut disappears from a body paragraph, then that body paragraph is going to have some significant problems. So we want to make sure we're careful on that. And then again, judgment thesis at the end. First line of the conclusion, you start off, boom, 2.5 line judgment thesis following the PDF that I gave you on that. That gives you some examples and explanation of how that one works. Okay. Also by the numbers, 5 to 7 body paragraphs, right? We're trying to move beyond each essay is getting a little bit longer. Most of you are going to end up with 5, and that's great. Some of you have more to say, or you really get into this kind of analysis, you really enjoy it, so you're going to find more points to make, and you're maybe going to have your 7 body paragraphs. But 5 is really the minimum that we need to be going for here. And 1,200 words. Remember, if you have 1199, your essay is at 60%. If I say 1,200 words, I'm not saying 1,200-ish or near, or if you feel like it. I'm saying it has to be that. And it's important. I had a professor who, when I was an undergraduate student at UC Irvine, who said, write me a 4-page paper. Mine was about 3.5 or so. And he had us all hand them in the front of the class in person. No internet back then because I'm old. He looked at my paper, flipped through, saw it was 3.5 pages, wrote F on it, and handed it back to me. Never read it. Why? Well, one, he was a jerk, but two, I didn't get him 4 pages. He asked for 4, not 3.5. Okay. And then you will need to make sure that you have obviously a formal works cited page, which most likely for the vast majority of you will only include your short story that you are analyzing. That will be the one work. Some of you might find another source on Vonnegut or something that you want to add to it. Great. But at minimum, it will have his short story. Okay. In your body paragraphs, get judgy. Depending on what structure you're going with, are you going with ethos, pathos, logos? And you've kind of split that up over 5 body paragraphs, following suggestions that I gave you in earlier modules. Or are you going on writing techniques and devices, character, plot, dialogue, that kind of thing? But again, 5 paragraphs. These are analytical points that you are using to pick apart what Vonnegut is doing. Okay. Specific evidence. You got to quote. You got to quote a lot. You can't just tell me in generalized summary paraphrase what Vonnegut is saying. One, that's a red flag for AI stuff. But two, It just shows that maybe you're not as specifically familiar with the text as you should be. You need to be able to pull out key scenes, key dialogue to illustrate how Vonnegut is doing what he's doing and whether it is working or not. And then again, as we said before, final judgment. You are going to tell me at the end whether he has succeeded or whether he has not. He may have some good things going for him, but ultimately he fails, or he has some flaws, but ultimately he succeeded. You're usually going to have that kind of balancing act, final judgment thesis. Just like if you were going to go buy a car and you choose not to buy it, you're like, well, I really like it. The seats were comfortable and styling, but it's a little bit too expensive, and it's probably more car than I need. Okay, so some things were good about the car, some things not so good. Or although, the car is maybe a little bit more expensive than I wanted it to be, it has all the features and more than I'm looking for, so I'm going to buy it, right? So it's not perfect, but I'm still going to buy it. Okay. Proofread, edit, 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 edit. Don't misspell Vonnegut's name. Don't misspell character names. Make sure that you are properly punctuating your quotations. You've got the comma before the quotation most of the time. You got the period after the citation most of the time. You're properly citing MLA. Just really proofread so that the individual sentences are doing what you want. You're getting rid of that you, right? We don't want any you pronouns for the most part in this unless it's in a quotation. So we want to make sure we're looking for those things. That kind of stuff, okay? Really pay attention to the details, right? That's where the essay moves from the C to the B or from the B to the A, because those small things do eventually add up, all right? And then this last one, I know this essay is different. I know it's a little bit of a weird one, but it's actually fairly common as a writing style. You're going to critique Freud's theory of childhood or of the unconscious or dreams, or you might be in a poli-sci class and you have to critique Karl Marx's theories of the proletariat versus the bourgeoisie in employment and the workforce, right? You're quite often going to have to go through and say, what is this author doing? Why are they doing it? Are they successful or not in that effort? Okay. In the end, trust that your judgment of Vonnegut is legit, right? I look forward to reading what you have to say. I really do. I want to see what you guys have come up with. And if you can support your analysis, there is a high probability you're going to do just fine on this assignment. Okay. It's the unsupported or undeveloped analysis that really struggles. Okay. So if you can make a clear case that Vonnegut is not doing as good a job here, but he did a better job there or whatever, if you can do that, you are probably going to do pretty well on this assignment. All right. And that is it for this video. Trying to keep it quick because I do know that you guys have a finite amount of time. Yeah, that's it. Pre-flight checklist is over. If you have any questions, you know that you should email me. I will do my best to respond. I am here for you. And when you need that support, not asking is the mistake. I can promise you that I'm looking forward to your question and I do want to answer it. All right. Take care.